Okay, is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So, good morning, students. In last lecture, we have ended with the Six Sigma DMAC philosophy. So, DMAC means it's a way of another way of implementation of Six Sigma. So here, so DMAC means what? So each letter has some meaning. D stands for the define, M stands for the measurement, A stands for analyze, I stands for improve, and C for control. So if you want to implement the Six Sigma, we have to follow these 5 steps. That is what the meaning of this DMAC principle. So first is a define. What to define? Define the process and the problem. Okay. To define the process and the problem means what? Just see here. So first begin by defining the process, because we are applying this particular Six Sigma philosophy for the process. Why we are applying Six Sigma philosophy for the process? Yes, anyone? Anyone? Yes. Why we are applying process to anyone? Philosophy.
Quality check करना है.
Yes, because and then what we are doing, we are manufacturing something. We are manufacturing the product, or as far as the construction industry is concerned, our task is to complete a construction project. So when we are talking about construction project, means we are constructing various elements of the structures. So we can consider that each part of that structure is a product, because that particular element, let us say slab is a structural element. Let us consider this as a product. How this product will get manufactured? This will get manufactured only if what? It has to go through some process. So ready-made slab is not available in the market. So that slab is made up of RCC, that is reinforcement concrete. So we have to choose first material, then we have to process it. Means what we are doing? By selecting the various types of material, we are first preparing the concrete. So concrete is also one product. Then we are reinforcing with the steel, and then that particular slab is ready, which is RCC slab. So this is a product. So this product, that is a casting of RCC slab, has to go through various processes. Okay. So in all the cases, the process is there to formulate any product, to manufacture any product, to let us say you have to do concreting work, painting work. All these nothing but are the process. After process only the end result we are getting. So first of all, define the process. Which process you are going to tackle, or for which process we have to apply the Six Sigma. So identify all the process in the organization, and then ask who are the customers and what are their problems, to identify the key characteristic important to the customer. Then identify the customer, which are the customers, and after identifying the customers, find out what are the problems or what are the issues of the customers. So first thing is what? Define the process. So just here, define the process and the problems. Then second, whatever the process has been defined, it required to be measured. So measure. To measure means what? Measure the process by first categorizing the key characteristics of the process. So let us consider the manufacturing of the concrete is a process. So what are the characteristics of that process? So characteristics of that process are nothing but the selection of the material, then proper mixing of the material in various proportion. Okay, then time of mixing, then addition of water, addition of some chemicals to gain the strength. So all these are the important steps in that particular process. Then measurement systems are verified and data collected. So whatever process we have selected, whatever the process you have selected, that has to be measured. How to measure a process? So you have to measure the parameters of the process, because if the process is correct, then only our final product is going to be appropriate. Okay. Then what is the third process? Third step, analyze the data collected. So while doing the measurement of process, we are collecting some data. We are collecting some data. Okay. So whatever the data has been collected, that is required to be analyzed. So once the data are collected, it must be analyzed. So what is the intention of collection of data? The intent is to convert the raw data into information that provides insight into the process. So whatever data we have collected, let us say we have collected the reports of the cement, test reports of the cement, test report of the water which are going to be used, then reports of the sand, aggregate, whatever the test we have conducted, quality test, then the chemical we are using. That is nothing but the data. Test report is nothing but the data. So we have to go through these test reports, which is nothing but the data. So these insights include identifying the fundamental and most important causes of defects or problems. Now, after going through the test data of cement, say sand, water, everything is okay, but water is not, the pH of water is not appropriate. So what will happen? The cement tests are okay, sand tests are okay, aggregate tests are okay, the chemicals we are using, all these things are okay, but water, whatever the water you are using, that is either acidic or alkaline, then obviously whatever the end product we are going to manufacture, that is a concrete, is going to be defective. You will not get immediate results, or will not get immediately identified, so this is a defective concrete, because after mixing that proportion, the concrete will manufacture, but it will not of desired quality, because one element or one material, that is water, is not of desired quality standards. So definitely the concrete which are going to be manufactured by using such type of water is going to be defective. So once you identified after collection of this data, that is water data, you are now in position that the water is not of appropriate quality. So you have to find out what are the reasons of this acidic or alkaline nature of water which is supplied to the site. So that is what important causes of defects or problems. That is to be identified. That is to be analyzed. That problem may be related to the water also. Sometimes the problem is related to cement. Sometimes the problem is related to the aggregate. So let me share here you, because I have observed this in one of the site. The data was correct. The test data was appropriate. So cement, sand, aggregate data, water, everything is appropriate. Then near about 7 to 18 columns were casted. The size of columns were in the range of 1 meter by 1 meter. So there are huge columns because of the heavy loads. And these columns are failed at 28 days strength. As far as 7th day test is concerned, they pass through that. 14 is also normal, but in the 28 days, all this concrete which were used for these columns is that all the tests were failed, and nobody is able to find out the reason, because the cement is correct, sand is correct, everything is correct. Then they have checked the mixed proportion, that is also correct. And what was the issue? The issue was the change in the quarry, because while mix designing, the cement was used, then aggregate was used, the sand was used. So while preparing the mix design for that particular M25 grade of concrete, at that time, whatever the aggregate was used, and that based on that aggregate quality, the mix design was proper. But actually on the site, while construction of this 7 to 18 columns, the site engineer was not aware of that. The quarry has changed, the material supplier is changed, and the material is getting supplied from the another supplier as far as that aggregate part is concerned. So there is an issue with that aggregate, and because of which the 28-day strength was not achieving. Once again, for that particular aggregate, once again the concrete mix was prepared. All these columns were broken. All these columns were broken, and once again all the columns are casted. So what was the issue? The issue was the change in the quarry, change in the location of the supplier, and the supplier is getting material from the another quarry, because of which the aggregate was not appropriate. I don't know whether you have studied the mixed proportion of the concrete or not. So cement, sand, aggregate, water, there is a mixed design which is called as a mixed design. Based on that mixed design, you have to decide what is the proportion of cement, sand, aggregate, water, and the plasticize everything. But for which whatever the material you have used, the same material is expected to be used in actual casting of the structure elements. So because of that was the issue. So once again, revised mixed design was prepared for that particular material, because there is no issue with the cement because the supplier was same. There was no issue with the sand. There was no issue with the water, but there was an issue with that particular aggregate. And because of which, and as you know that, the concrete gains strength from the aggregate. Okay, the cement is acting as only binding material. So whatever the strength which are getting, it is through from that aggregate, that is from the stone material. So that was the problem and that was the defect. For that, 17 to 18 columns were broken, have been broken, and near about 7 to 8 lakh was the costing for rework. So once again, they have been casted and the project is delayed. So the process was appropriate. Yes, the concrete manufacturing process was correct. Cement, sand, aggregate test reports were also correct. But the concrete gets not getting the desired quality compressive strength at the 28 days. Okay. So such type of things were happened on the site. Then improve. So whatever the first step is to improve the process. Improve the process. So now what we are now at this stage, we have defined the problem, then we have defined the process, then we have carried out some measurements kind of thing. We have collected the data, we have verified the test reports, everything. Then we have analyzed that, and from that we have found out there is an issue with something, and now we want to improve. So now first step is to improve the process, because we know now here in this step number 3, we are at the stage that we are getting information that yes, there is an issue with this particular process. So what is the next decision? You have to improve the process, because if the process is improved, only the product will be of desired standard. So first step is to improve the process. Improve the process. Solution to the problem must be developed and changes are made to the process. So in this step number 4, it is expected to improve the process. So whatever the process has been improved, the changes has to be made in the process, and accordingly that new process must be implemented. And now the process is under implementation. So now we have to control. Once the system, once the process has been implemented, that is upgraded version of the process or the improved version of the process, that has to be maintained, required to maintain regularly. So that is what the step number 5, control. If the process is performing at a desired and predictable level, it is put under control. Okay, this is put under control. So these are the 5 steps to be applied in DMAC. The first step is define the problem, define the process, which process you are going to handle, which problems you are going to tackle. So that first of all to be required to be identified. Then you have to carry out the measurement. Measurement is not, it doesn't mean that you have to measure the weight, volume. No, you have to measure the process, and that measurement is according to the type of the process, what kind of measurements are required. So you actually have to measure the process in terms of time, in terms of quality standards, in terms of weight, whatever it may be, that depends upon that process, in terms of chemicals, in terms of material used. Then you have to collect the data, and the data may be anything, that may be any kind of data, likewise the test reports, the time or the chemicals, volume, whatever it may be. And that requires to be analyzed. Then we have to improve the process. Once the process is improved, we have to control it. Control means the same, we should get the same results. So if the process is performing at a desired and predictive level, it is put under control. So this is the way the DMAC principle is used. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Okay. So now the Motorola has started, as already we have discussed, the Motorola company has started this philosophy of Six Sigma in 1918. So they have adopted this philosophy for measuring the defects in the product. Which is the product? Mobile. Okay. Mobile is the product which we have manufactured by the Motorola company. And based on that, Six Sigma concept was adopted by the Motorola in 1980. And they have, this is a table which has been, this is a simplified Six Sigma conversion table. Normally, Six Sigma conversion table is derived from the normal distribution curve. So we will see in the end how that has been derived from the normal distribution curve. But now for the, just for this moment, try to understand that these are the levels. Sigma level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the 6 levels of Sigma. 6 is the highest level of Sigma. Okay. 6 is the highest level, means highest quality standard. Now, already we have seen the definition of 6th level of Sigma is what? Only 3.4 defects are allowed in 1 million products, that is 10 lakh products. So if you are manufacturing the 10 lakh products or 1 million products, then out of this 1 million products, 3.4, if they are out of this 1 million products, if 3.4 products have found as a defective, then we are saying that it is a Six Sigma level. Now, what is a Sigma level 5? Sigma level 5 means out of this 1 million product, 320 products have found to be defective. Means we are at 5 level of Sigma. Likewise, if in 1 million, if 6210 products have found to be defective, then we can say the Sigma level is 4. Sigma level is 4. Then if you are finding out what is Sigma level 3, then out of this 1 million products, 66,800 products have found to be defective. That is Sigma level 3. What is Sigma level 1? Out of this 10 lakh products, that is 1 million product, 6,90,000 products have found to be defective. Then we are saying that this particular product is at of Sigma level 1 only. Okay. So this has been converted in terms of percentage of atoms, that is percentage of atoms without defects from this 3.4 and 6. So if you divide 3.4 by 1 million, you will get 99.997. If you divide 3.4 by 1 million, you will get 99.9997. Likewise, 320 by 1 million, you will get 99.98. Means what? How much percentage of atoms are without defects? 99.99% atoms are without defect, means it is Six Sigma level, and near about 31% of atoms are, if they are without defect, we can say Sigma level is 1. So this is the standardized Six Sigma conversion table which can be used to find out the Sigma levels. Now the next question is how to apply this particular philosophy in the construction industry. So this is a question. So the answer for this question is, this is a Six Sigma conversion table. You can see here the same table. So Sigma 1 level is nothing but 31% of atoms are without defects. And Sigma 6 level means 99.99% atoms are without defects. Then it is Six Sigma level. How to apply this philosophy to the construction industry? So I have made one attempt. This is my dissertation report of ME. So I did my ME dissertation report on Six Sigma. So just see how to apply this Six Sigma philosophy. So what I did here, calculation of Six Sigma level for concreting work by circulating questionnaire to various personnel associated with the project work is done here. So what I did, I have framed some questions. I have framed some questions related to the concreting activity, because once again the concreting activity is nothing but a product. So I have circulated a questionnaire to the various persons associated with the project, like project coordinator, architect, site engineer, independent observer. And I will try to find out at how much level that Six Sigma can be achieved. Whether we can achieve the Six Sigma level or we can achieve the 5 level or 3 level. Okay, because that depends upon the type of product also. So there are two steps. First of all, I have circulated a questionnaire to the various stakeholders which are related to the project, like project coordinator, site engineer, architect, and one is the independent observer, who is not directly associated with the site. Then second step, I found out the calculation of Six Sigma level for concreting work, BBM work, and plastering work. So first of all, try to see the step number 1 first. So just see how to apply. This is attempt made by me how to apply the Six Sigma. There is no definite method, because I have gone through some research papers, and this is what I feel that this can be a method of finding out Six Sigma. So what I did here, just see, I have selected one activity, that is concreting activity. Just see the concreting activity. Can you see this slide? Is the slide visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So this is a concreting activity. How to find out Six Sigma level for concreting activity? So first of all, I have to decide which are my parameters, which are my quality parameters. So let me ask you a question here. What are the possible parameters? Yes, anyone? If I want a desired standard of concreting activity, so where we are conducting the concreting activity, which are the elements, structural elements, where we are actually doing the concreting activity? Yes. Yes, which are the elements in the structure, in the construction, where we are conducting, where we are executing the concreting activity? Yes. Yes, anyone? Which are the concreting activities?
Column B. Foundation.
Construction of foundation, construction of columns, construction of beams, construction of slabs. Next, any other? Lot of things are still remaining. Yes. Which are the concrete elements? Plinth beam. Okay. Next.
Concreting element, fine sand, coarse aggregate, cement.
Concreting structural elements. Structural elements where we require the concrete.
Casting slab.
Slab is made up of reinforcement concrete. So here we require the concrete. Correct. Next.
Staircase.
That was remaining. The staircase. In staircase also we require the concrete. Any other element? Lintel concrete असतात ना lintel? Lintel.
Yes, sir.
Then your projections above windows, which is called as what? Chajja. These are made up of also concrete. So these are 6 to 7 elements in the structure where we are actually using the concrete. So now the question is, the question is very simple. If I want desired quality standard concrete, what will be the standards, or what are the major parameters that has to be taken care of, so that I will get desired standard quality concrete. Yes. Which are the parameters, which are the key characteristics that I have to taken care so that I will get the desired standard quality concrete? Simple question. Yes.
Sir, aggregates used,
Quality of cement, aggregate.
admixtures used,
Correct, correct, correct. Yes, go ahead.
W by K ratio.
Huh?
Water ratio.
Water cement ratio, correct.
Mixed proportion.
Mixed proportion, correct. Next, correct. So first thing is the material. Material should be of desired quality. Then somebody has talked about water cement ratio. That is very essential thing. Water cement ratio, then admixtures. Then we are talking about the concreting activity. Now we are switching to concreting activity, where whenever I have to apply the concrete, let us say I have to cast a slab. So it is a concreting activity.
Formwork, sir, formwork.
Formwork, the quality of formwork, yes. Then correct. फॉर्मवर्कची क्वालिटी नसेल तर स्लॅबचे डायमेन्शनच मिळणार नाहीत. नेक्स्ट अजून करेक्ट आहे फॉर्मवर्क. हा
Curing.
Curing is 1000% correct because that is the essential thing. Even though you are mixing cements and aggregate water in correct proportion, but the curing is not proper. What happens? Try to understand this thing. We are preparing bricks. We are preparing cubes, and these cubes we are keeping 24 hours continuously in water. It is always in submerged condition in water. It is 100%. It is in submerged condition in water. But whatever the concrete, whatever the elements we have prepared, we have manufactured, or we have casted from this concrete, they are not 100% in water. Are you getting me this? So what is the logic? If the curing is improper, now what happens? You are testing the cubes which are 24 hour, 100%, 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, 28 days, everything at all days. This is a fully immersed in the water. So this is 100% curing. For that particular cube, you are getting 100% curing. But whatever the structural elements we have casted, like say column, by using that concrete, this is not 100% clear because सकाळी कोणतरी एक पाणी मारून जातोय, 2 दिवस पाणीच मारलेलं नसते. ओके, पण तुम्ही टेस्ट कशाचं करता? यू आर टेस्टिंग वॉट द क्यूब विच इज 100% in ideal condition. So definitely you will get the test data, whatever the result you are getting from that particular compressive strain, that is correct. There is no issue with that. But the curing site, but actual curing of the structural element is totally different. So the curing is more important aspect in concrete. Any other? Most important aspect in a concreting element, concreting activity. Any other?
filling of concrete,
Any other?
Compaction.
Compaction, yes, correct. Next. That is also correct. Because compaction is not proper, then even though everything, all the materials of desired quality, mixing is also correct, everything is correct, but the compaction is improper, there is an issue with the leakage. 100% correct. Yes, next. Anything else? Okay, let me show you my list. Purposely, I have not shown to you so that you can think on. So this is the items I have listed down. So whether on that particular site, quality assurance, quality control system is available or not. Okay, that should be there. So what is the rating given by the project coordinator on that site? Yes, that is more important. It has to be required to be it is important. That's why he has given 4 marks out of 5. What is architect saying? Yes, it is more important. He has given 4 marks out of 5. Site engineer also saying 4 marks out of 5. An independent observer means the person who is not directly associated with this, but we are conducting the research. He's also saying that yes, there has to be a quality assurance and quality control system on a site, and the marking is given is 4. Then storage of cement. The storage of cement has to be proper. So what is the rating by the project coordinator is saying 4, architect is saying 3, site engineer saying it is also most important factor. He is giving it has to be even most important factor as a 5, and independent observer like me is saying yes, okay, it's 4. Then type and storage of aggregate. Okay, so the marking are given by the project coordinator 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. So this is what the marking is given on the scale of 1 to 5. 5 is best quality, we can say the best marking. So likewise, which are the atoms, what type of water you are used? This is the 4th atom. Quality of the product is also important. Use of admixtures. Then type and use of machinery by which you are actually completing the concreting activity. Training of workers, personnel, which are actually executing that particular concreting task. Then supervision. Supervision is also important as far as quantity is concerned and as far as quality is concerned. QTY stands for quantity and QLTY stands for quality. So supervision for both the ways as far as quality part of the concrete is concerned and the quantity part. Then workability of the concrete is more important. The concrete is not workable, even though everything is okay, it is not of best concrete. Then controls and checks on water cement ratio. Formwork design accuracy, just see which is the atom considered. Formwork design accuracy. Then as far as the formwork is concerned, water tightness. What happens if there are joints in the formwork and we are casting a slab beam? What happens? What will happen if it is not watertight? What will happen? Yes, what will happen? If the formwork is not watertight, what will happen? Anyone? There will be leakage. There will be leakage, and you will not get the. Sometimes it is observed that there is a bulging of formwork if you are using the wooden or plywood kind of formwork. So you will not get the appropriate dimensions, and there is a leakage of the water and the cement. Then formwork release agent that has to be applied. So how you are releasing the formwork, that sequence is also important, but we are not considered here. Then type of reinforcement we are using, whether that reinforcement or the steel is tested or not, that is also important in the concreting aspect. If the concrete is okay and the steel is not okay, the entire structure element is defective. Then reinforcement, storage and fabrication, that is also to be taken care of. Then reinforcement placing and cover blocks, whether the appropriate cover is given or not. Then sequence of loading in a mixer. In what sequence you have to add the cements and aggregate and water. Then transport and placing tools and equipment used for the concreting activity. And sometimes in the corners, in the joints, there is always a congestion of the reinforcement. The detailing is required. If it is too much congested concrete, then concrete will not be placed in that column beam connection or the slab column beam connection because of congestion of reinforcement itself. Okay, then construction joints, testing of concrete, finishing of concrete tools, finishing of concrete material, what type of curing method is adopted on the site, that is also important. What is the curing time for which you are actually executing that curing activity, finish to the surface, dimension and profile of finished concrete, that is also important as far as concreting element is concerned. Then hot weather concrete precautions. Have you taken the hot weather concrete precautions? Because in summer there is a temperature near 41 degree, 42 degree. Have you taken any precautions? Okay. Then provision for maintenance of concrete surface, whether this has been applied or not. So From this, these are 122 marks, and each stakeholder or each type of expert has given some marks. Okay, so based on that marks, 97, 75, 98 and 89. What is the conclusion? So what is the maximum score? The maximum score is 98. Okay, here the maximum score is 98. Acceptable concrete score is 80 to 90 points out of 122. So it was decided that no, you will not get always the 100% mark. So we can accept if the after observation, if that particular concreting activity is scoring 80 to 90 points, then okay, we will say that concrete is acceptable. If it is scoring less than 80 points, we are considering as a non-acceptable concrete. For good concrete, it has to be score should be in the range of 91 to 100. Excellent concrete, 101 to 115. Best concrete, 115 to 122. And concrete with zero defects, 122. So this is we have defined. We have defined this quality of concrete based on this score. So minimum score has to be 80 to 90. If it is more than 91 to 100, we are saying that it is a good concrete. For excellent concrete, the score has to be 101 to 115. Best, 115 to 122. And concrete with zero defects, means 100%, it is 120. This is what we have defined. Okay. What is our observation from this exercise? So project coordinator and site engineer is saying concrete is good. Project coordinator and site engineer is saying concrete is good based on the rating. Architect is saying concrete is not acceptable because architect score is less, 75. So he is saying that it is not acceptable category. Independent observer is saying that concrete is acceptable. So here observation is rating by project coordinator is matching with that of site engineer. So project coordinator and site engineer's rating is nearly matching. Architect is saying non-acceptable, and independent observer who is not associated directly with the site is saying okay, the acceptable is okay. So considering the logic from that of zero defect, the score obtained by concrete would have been 122. If you are saying that it should be zero defect concrete, the score has to be 122. So we are able to say that the score of 89 out of 122 as given by independent rater is equivalent to 33 defects in 122. What is the score given by independent observer who is saying the concrete is acceptable? His score is 89 out of 122. Means what? 122 minus 89, 33 is the defect in 122. Because if you have to 100% non-defective concrete, then the score has to be 122. So 122 minus 120, it's a 0. So it is a 0 defect. But the score achieved is how much? 89. Means 33 defects are there in 122 numbers. So percentage of item without defect. So 89 is a non-defect number out of 122. So 72.95% of items are without defect because they have scored 89 out of 122. So 89 out of 122 means 73. Let us say 73. So 73 is a percentage of items without defect. That's how we have found out the percentage of items without defects are 73. And from this conversion table, Six Sigma table, %, comes in between 69.2 and 93.3. So the sigma level is in between 2 to 3. Sigma level is in between 2 to 3. So this is how we have found out percentage of items without defect. That is 73%, which lies between these two numbers, 69.2 and 93.3. So it is in between 2 or 3, 2 and 3. So let us see. So the level is what? Sigma 2 level. Okay. So this is how we can find out the sigma level. So we can achieve max to max sigma 2 level or sigma 3 level in the concreting activity. That is what our conclusion. Okay, if you want to achieve the 6 sigma level, then everything has to be 122 minus 120, it has to be 0. Now likewise, now from this thing, what we have to do here, the exercise to do is what? You have to develop some check sheets like this. Check sheet like this means you have to find out some checks. These are required. So you have to develop the check sheets for concreting of staircase. So I will show you one example. So this is a quality assessment sheet for RCC before concreting for staircase. So still the staircase is not, the concreting for that staircase is not done. So what are the minimum check it should satisfy? This is what I have listed here. So what are the items? The height of riser is as per drawing. Width of tread as per the drawing. Still concreting of staircase is not executed. Uniform thickness of base slab as per the drawing. Inclined prop support in position. Wooden packing provided below props. Riser are in plumb line. Measurement of mid landing dimension is as per drawings. And reinforcement is as per the drawing. So this is what I have listed. If the staircase has to be go for the concreting activity, it should be checked for these 8 items. This is what my way of checking. So I have listed the 8 items. If this 8 items has been cleared by the staircase, so definitely I can go for the concreting of the staircase. So on that side, what I observed, I have prepared the checklist and I have visited a site. What I observed, the height of riser is as per drawing. Yes. So I have marked here tick line. So it is as per the drawing. Width of the tread is as per drawing. Yes. I have observed the same thing on a site. Whether I observed the uniform thickness of base slab as per the drawing? No, I have not observed. This is what formwork is in position. Inclined prop support in position. Yes. What are the inclined props are there? They are supported appropriately. So yes, it is observed. Wooden packing is provided below props. Yes, the wooden packing is also provided below the props. Whether the risers are in plumb line. So I observed that some of the risers are not in plumb line. So I have marked here cross. Measurement of mid landing dimension as per the drawing. So I have measured the dimension of mid landing on that particular formwork. Okay, so it is observed. Yes, the dimensions are matching. Whether the reinforcement is as per drawing? Yes. So what I am trying to do, I have prepared this quality assessment sheets for RCC before concreting, and the element I have selected is the staircase. So these are the 8 checks. Out of these 8 checks, how many defects are there? 2 cross. Means these 2 checks are not satisfied. So out of these 8, 2 checks are not satisfied. Means what? How many number of defects? 2. So we can consider this is a defect and this is also one defect. These are the defects. So number of defects are 2 and number of checks should be satisfied how much? 8. 8 checks should get satisfied. So as per the 6 sigma, what is the definition of 6 sigma? Defects per million opportunities. Defects per million. So how many defects are there? Number of X are 2 divided by per million means total number of checks. So defects per million. So total number of checks are, so number of defects are 2 in 8 into 10 lakh. Into 10 lakh. Okay. So I am getting one number 2,50,000. So number of defects are 2 in 8 and I am multiplying it by 10 million because how many opportunities are there? 10 million according to the 6 sigma definition. So I am getting one number that is 2,50,000. So that 2,50,000 I am comparing with the table. I am comparing this with the table. So this table. 2,50,000 is coming in between these two. Am I correct? 2,50,000 defects per million opportunity I have found out and I am getting 2,50,000. So it is in between these two. So I can do the linear interpolation and I can find out the Six Sigma level. So that Six Sigma level is observed as 2.44. So as far as this staircase is concerned, before concreting, it is at 2.44 sigma level. That is what the conclusion. Likewise, you have to prepare the check sheets for various types of construction element. So what is the conclusion of today's lecture? What we have studied? Yes, anyone? What we have discussed today? Yes, anyone? What we have discussed today?
Sir, first we have gone through DMAC.
Correct? Yes. DMAC is
Then
DMAC.
we have
D stands for define. Yes.
define, measure, analyze, improve, and control.
Correct. 100% correct. Next, we have discussed the DMAC. Next, what we have discussed?
Then we have seen calculation of sigma level.
Correct. We have seen the Six Sigma table. What is 6 level? What is 5 level? 4 level? 3 level? 2 level? 1. Correct. Exactly. Next.
Then we have done for concreting activities.
So we have made attempt to find out how can we find out or how can we implement this Six Sigma philosophy for any construction activity. So I have given you the example of the concreting activity. Okay. And then also another example.
Then we have seen of staircase.
So how to find out the Six Sigma level for staircase? This is what a methodology I have given you, by which you can actually, because you have to measure the process. How to measure the process? This is the way how to measure the process. So we can say that that particular staircase of 2.4 sigma level. If all the checks have been satisfied, 8 check you have defined. You have to define your own quality standards. If you want that only one check should get satisfied, there is no issue. I have highlighted here 8 checks. Somebody may introduce another 6 or 7 checks. Okay. So you have to define your own quality standard. That is what the Six Sigma. You have to define your own quality standards. That is defined. And you have to meet the standards. That is the logic. Okay. Now we can stop here. After getting this, after half an hour, this lecture will be loaded on the Google Classroom. And we are maintaining the 100% punctuality as far as the lecture timings are concerned and the uploading of the content is concerned. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.